Slavery ended almost 200 years ago, but it still exists today. A modern form of slavery called human trafficking has now taken form and is running rampant across the world. Now, it is very, very good to know that there are people out there who are fighting against slavery and human trafficking. And these ladies that joined me are part of the team called the Freedom Climbers. And this year, they trekked up Mount Everest, raising awareness and money for the fight against human trafficking. Annelies and Dr. Yubat, thank you very much for joining us this morning. It's good to have you back, I think, essentially. Let's start off there first. Annelies, tell me about this Freedom Climb project and where it started, the idea.
The initiative was actually a vision by a lady called Kathy Anderson, and she resides in America, and she just wanted to give something tangible for ordinary women to make an impact on the lives of these women and children trapped in human trafficking.
Yeah.
So the vision for the climb was actually a simulation of the situation these women and children were trapped in. It feels to them like a mountain to climb to get out of these situations.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the vision was then to raise money and awareness also for human trafficking.
Yeah.
And you know how the media works, you have to do something crazy to get them to sit up a notice.
Right, you did, yes.
So the first climb was actually Mount Kilimanjaro,
yes,
in January 2012. And then the second international climb was in April this year to what we thought then was Camp Everest and Summit in Kalapatar.
Before we get too far into the actual climb itself, and that's where, Doctor, you'll come into it, but how bad is the situation here in South Africa? Because I think we see it in international media where it's widely reported, but human trafficking in South Africa, what's the situation?
The situation, according to the Global Index of Slavery in the World, says that South Africa is ranking 115th in the world, with around 44,500 people trapped in slavery in this country, which is quite shocking because it is illegal.
Yeah, yeah. And it ruins the lives of people on such a, I think, a magnified scale where somebody's life is literally taken away from them.
And it's actually in our own cities. There's actually a very good initiative, the WISE Squad. They work very closely with the Hawks in Cape Town.
Yeah.
So they just try to keep their hands on it, because if there's suspicious things going on, they have to do a lot of observation and video footage to be able to have the authority to go into those houses and lay it open. And then they walk against the courts. They get themselves tangled up with all kinds of lawsuits, and then these people, just the traffickers, pay our courts to scrape the case. And these they can't get into these houses and get to release these kids.
It's a really, really sad state of affairs. It's incredibly sad.
And
Annelies, I mean, tell me about the projects that you are busy with that are helping to fight human trafficking. I know that there's a lot of work that you do. You're raising awareness and money through the Freedom Climb.
Yes, the Freedom Climb then identified 35 projects globally.
Yeah.
And these projects deal with a different range of things. The first thing is obviously prevention, rescue and rehabilitation, where these women and children are actually rescued and then they have to be rehabilitated. You can imagine someone being exposed to sexual intercourse at the age of, say, 8 or 10. That is severe. And then we also do development, because we want to give and empower these women and children not to land up in the same situation again.
Yeah. And so when you read the story, it's amazing how, you know, sisters are doing it for themselves, and I'm so, so proud to say that, where 48 women took on this Freedom Climb. Absolutely amazing. And you were the team doctor, Dr. Ilse. Tell me about the journey. How far up did you go? Some of the challenges that you faced, it could not have been easy, even after doing Kilimanjaro.
Yeah. Well, I was medically equipped with a backpack full of medicines and all the knowledge in the world, and it couldn't prepare me for this spiritual heaviness of the cause that we're climbing for, because we faced more than physical challenges.
And Lisa, tell me about, for you personally, what did it do for you after being part of this journey?
You know what, you always want to identify with these women. I think the closest I came to was when we were actually on the mountain trekking. And one morning we came to what they call a tea house. And on this front part of the tea house was a little Nepalese girl, still in her pajamas. And she had 2 trekkers on each side of her with her arms wrapped around her. And I think for the first time in my life, I just saw this victim mentality written all over her face, because in Nepal, it is a tradition for the parents to sell their daughters to the trekkers on the mountain. But to actually see it and to stand there and you can't do anything about it. And that little girl's face will remain with me for the rest of my life. And you know what, that inspires me to get up at 6 a.m. in the morning and come on these shows and say to people, this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
We, as ordinary people, can make a difference, and we need to take up this plight, and
Definitely.
we need to make a difference.
And a powerful message that is, and I truly believe that we can make a difference through the work of people like you and the team from the Freedom Climbers. Thank you very much for coming in and telling us about this and making us aware of this course. Thank you. We are really, really proud of you. Now, if you'd like to find out more about how you can help the Freedom Climbers and the many projects that they do support, you can dial the number 08000 555 999 or locally in Cape Town 021 596 1999. Stay with us.